Hello, everyone. Hi. How are you all doing? Welcome to another session here in our Conversations with Emee in the PAMI Code Facebook group. And for today, we have a very special guest. We have Tracy Tully joining us today. Tracy is the founder, director, and CEO of Motivation and Resilience for Women. And I'm sure we're going to have a fascinating conversation today talking about goals, because now it's the start of the new decade. Actually, it's not just a new year, it's a new decade. We might have to start thinking about our goals and how we can build that motivation and resilience as well to power through the goals that we are trying to achieve. So warmest welcome, Tracy, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, Emee. It's an honor to be here.
So Tracy, tell us a little bit about yourself. What's your background and what got you interested in this topic?
My background is in education, so I spent 38 years as a high school and primary school principal, and predominantly in rural and very isolated areas. And my entire career has been in very violent schools with high usage of drugs. So coupled together, I came across a lot of people who struggled with resilience, they struggled with motivation and how to bounce back. So what I found myself doing every single day of my entire life was counselling, if it wasn't students, parents and or staff. And I felt very much like a dentist. Next it would be an appointment back to back to back. And it was the same thing over and over again. And so what I did eventually was resign, and I started as an entrepreneur. And the very first program I wrote prior to leaving the education department was, I called my what goals. So WHAT with a question mark, what goals. And I found that when I was counselling people, I would use this very simple sequence to help people through their troubles.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's actually what attracted me to you. I was looking through your profile and I saw, was like, you have this what goals, and I was thinking, what does that mean? I was really intrigued. So can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yes. So the what goals was basically a theory I developed back in 2012 with an intent to help people make appropriate choices and learn improved problem solving and decision making skills. And this is the big gap I found with people who struggle with achieving what they want to do or what they want to become. So it's a model that helps people to reduce their anxiety around managing information by providing them with a very clear plan for monitoring their self-progress. The language is very, very simple, which is necessary so it can be called to mind very quickly. So my what goals stands for the W, what do you want to change? The H, how will you do it? The A, achieve with small steps, and the T, the time it will take. So at its simplest level, it can be used maybe for a person who wants to lose 5 kilograms. At the most complex level in the corporate world, it can be used for performance review. So it's breaking things down so they're at their simplistic level. And so that's why I came up.
Yeah. So let me recap, Tracy, because I'm really interested in this. So what stands for the W is the what do you want to achieve? So it's really identifying what's the outcome, what's the goal that you want to achieve. The H is the how. So if you've identified what you want, how are you going to get there? How are you going to do it? The A is this the accountability, or what did the A stand for again?
For the achievement. So how are you going to achieve that? So the small steps you're going to do.
And it's monitoring your progress and taking it a step at a time. Is that what it is?
So if you want to lose, say, 5 kilos, and you've got how you do that, but how will you help yourself achieve that? So you'll have that on your fridge, like a 4-week diet plan on your fridge. Could be in your bedroom, in your office, in your kitchen. You might have it with start and end dates. And then you might use a Fitbit or other apps to help you. And the how is purchasing the Fitbit. So,
Okay.
yeah, so if I break it down for how would I lose 5 kilo, and so number one would be what do I want to do? I want to lose 5 kilo from my current weight. What date am I going to start that on?
You need the
And what
time
is going to
frame. Yes.
what is going to be my finishing date? So I set those boundaries for myself. But the how, all right, how am I going to do this? Am I going to use some sachets I've purchased from the chemist, or am I going to make my own meals, or exactly how am I going to do that? Am I going to purchase a Fitbit Ultra to help myself and download an app, purchase a book that would help me? So What the Fat book is a really good one. Read the book by taking notes and researching, so you're helping yourself that way, and then maybe using recommendations for a book or an app or program, doing lots of research. Then when it comes to achieve it, then we would achieve that by doing A, B, and C. So actually making a meal plan, writing it, displaying it and following it, and then how many, so the time taken. So for this particular one, it could be 4 weeks. So in 4 weeks, I'm going to go from here to here, A to B. And then, of course, you have to have a reward always at the end of it for yourself, intrinsic reward and whatever we need.
Yes,
So
to
it's very
celebrate the
simple.
accomplishment, isn't it? It's really
Absolutely.
important, and in acknowledging the work that you've put in, and just celebrating your win, because you've set a goal, and when you achieve it, you need to feel great about that and
Absolutely.
celebrate it, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Tracy,
So it can be very, yeah.
yes, the thing that I've noticed, because last year we did something like this here in the Pame Code Facebook group. We had the Healthy Habits Challenged. And one of the things that I recommended the participants is that, yes, you need to identify what is your goal, be very specific, but the how is a little bit of a struggle sometimes, because the how, some people, they want to do everything. So for example, when you say, oh, I want to lose 5 kilos, they will do like 10 things to try to lose
Aha.
it. I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to eat less fat, less sugar, I'm going to have more fiber, and so what would you suggest, in terms of the how? Because some people like to cram a lot of action in, and as a result, they fall because it's too much. What do you say about that?
That is a brilliant question, Emmy. And what I found is by keeping it so simple, I developed the 5 micro habits. And what that means is, from the moment you open your eyes in the morning, your discipline of your routine, your basic routine, needs to start. And this is where people will either excel or they will fail. And so my 5 micro habits are very, very simple. So number one is, from the moment you open your eyes, I train people to lie on their back and have a big stretch. Have a big stretch, stick their thumb in under their bra strap, and feel, with 10 deep breaths, feel their body move in accordance with that. So 10 deep breaths. If your thumb moves, you're doing that correctly. So that's your very first, very, very simple micro habit. And people go, oh, why would we do that? But it's not until you look at the 5 micro habits you realize why you do that. Because a lot of people look at the alarm clock first.
Yes.
And psychologically, as you would know, when you look at an alarm clock,
It's
your
time to go.
brain automatically starts to stress or to think, or to get distracted and think, and you're not relaxed and you're not concentrating. The second thing I ask people to do is to have a glass of room temperature water. So we go from lying on our back, correct, absolutely, lying on our back, stretching, taking a 10 deep breaths. And the science, obviously, as you would know, is very real. So by having the 10 deep breaths, you're conditioning your
You're
body,
preparing the
and
body for the day.
absolutely, mentally as well as physically. So you're sending a message to your brain that you're in control and the clock isn't controlling you. You have your glass of room temperature water, and then you stand up. And the first thing you're going to want to do is go to the toilet. So the whole thing about my 5 micro habits is to leverage routine discipline around your normal routine events. So you go to the toilet. Now, everyone goes to the toilet when they wake up in the morning. So it's a very simple one, but it's what you do after the toilet. And the biggest thing I believe is that if you can do 5 squats, when you've been to the toilet, flush the chain, 5 squats there and then. So you condition your habit to, you leverage a very, very basic human need. Go to the toilet, 5 squats. What you'll find then is, the hope is that, and it does happen, is that every single morning you will build up that habit, because you do 5 squats and you'll feel better and better as days go by. Within 3 days, you'll do 10. And all of a sudden, whenever you feel like it, as the day emerges in weeks,
Squatting.
months, yeah, absolutely, and
You
doing
move.
it with, yes, you move. And what I do is I teach people to squat like a man. And this
What does
comes
that
from a physio.
mean?
I know, it sounds sexist, but it isn't. And I had a skiing accident, a snow skiing accident, and snapped my ACL. And the physio said to me, Tracy, you must squat like a man and keep practicing that to teach your body what to do correctly, because I was actually a little bit fearful of a deep squat early in my rehab. And so it brought to mind, right, okay, that was a very valuable lesson. So we've got our 3 micro habits already. We've got our deep breath. We've had our glass of water. We've done our 5 squats. Then across to the tap, the sink, to wash our hands. And then after we've washed our hands, pick up a toothbrush and clean our teeth. And the science, obviously, is to clean your teeth then, not after breakfast. Clean your teeth in the morning, and that's obviously there's smart medical reasons for that. Final habit is to look in the mirror with an affirmation. So it's going to be a great day today. I'm going to have a great day today. So what you're doing with those 5 micro habits is you're disrupting the procrastination, you're disrupting fear, you're disrupting all those normal things that people wake up with if they turn the TV on or the radio and they're hearing the alarm and or what's happening in the world. It's preparing your body and your mind for discipline. So that's my most powerful micro habits. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Well, for me last year, the health in during our healthy habits challenge, the habit that I pledged to do was to drink at least 8 glasses of water a day. I still am doing it.
Yeah.
And the game changer for me was really when I started drinking water the first thing when I wake up. So you wake up, you take the deep breaths. Actually, when I wake up, the first thing that I do is I actually express gratitude. I don't know if this sounds morbid, but I would say, oh my God, thank you that I'm still alive. I'm grateful that I get to live another day. So it's I'm welcoming the day, and I'm grateful that I have another day to live. And as soon as I do my gratitude, I do my prayer for the morning, I the water is there and I drink my water. So that's already a tick. Like, first glass of water, yeah. 7 more to go. But these days it just becomes a habit, because you start off that way and the day continues like that. However, Tracy, I have to say, I do struggle with the rest of the bits. Like, okay, I brush my teeth in the morning before I eat, because it feels nicer, actually. Clean teeth, clean mouth, and then when I go for breakfast, everything is clean. But when you're running a household and it is the morning school run, and it's a bit of a chaos, have to prepare the kid, have to prepare breakfast, you have to run, gonna be late for school. It can get stressful when the kid wakes up before me. I don't get the chance to what do you do about that? Is there any way to not because doing the squats and all that,
Mm.
have to get things done now. So how can you manage that, and how can you still incorporate those micro
Mm.
habits in the morning to start your day right?
It's interesting you said that, because as a mother of two children, and my husband was always on the road and travelling, so away from home, I literally brought my children up on my own. And so what I taught them to do was exactly what I had to do in the morning. So those 5 micro habits, they had to do it.
It's
And the funny thing,
non-negotiable.
the funny thing, they remind me now, my children, both 24 and 27, they'll laugh still at this. And I used to walk around the house singing to them to wake up. And I
Wow.
won't sing to you now, but they do it to me now. And the reason being, once again, is it's that psychological distraction. So you wake them up with a song, and a good morning song, and then a reminder in that song that don't forget to do your 5 micro habits, deep breaths. And
That's
what they're
wonderful.
doing then, yes, is you're teaching them to leverage their own teeth. They have a laugh about it. They still remember it now. And so what you're doing is distracting them from jumping out of the bed and running around. And they will. if they're like me, and I wake up early or I have late nights, they'll try and copy you. But the biggest thing I found for our kids is to teach them the next morning routine that follows your 5 micro habits, and that's how they prepare themselves for the morning.
Mm.
Even at a very, very young age, my expectation was they had to check their school bags, they had to check their lunch box, they had to check the table. So we would all set the table up for breakfast the night before, and
Right.
we would have everything ready the night before. And the lunch boxes could be made the night before, and they would help me make them. And the final thing we would do the night before is always have reading time. So we could talk about that at the table once again as that distraction. So for me, once again, it's teaching the children to leverage what you want them to do, a habit that you want them to do, onto a routine.
I love that. And it's actually giving the children a responsibility, and trying to
Absolutely.
build those micro habits as well. I have to say, okay, my child is 4 years old. So,
That's
it would be, yeah, I think it would be quite good to incorporate those habits. The only chaos that we have in the morning though is because my husband is Greek, and he's the first person to wake up in the morning. And the first thing that he does is turn on Greek news. And
oh.
no disrespect to the Greeks out there, it's Pame. Pame is actually a Greek word, and we have a lot of Greeks in our community. But when you turn on Greek news, it's just full of bad news. And
Drama.
they will debate about politics and the economy, and Greece going into debt and so on.
Mm,
And they shout, well, my husband said they're not shouting, but to me they are
mm.
shouting. They're
Ow.
talking on top of each other, like 3 or 4 people all talking at the same time. I don't have a clue
Mm,
what they are saying because I'm not Greek. And it's just a lot of shouting in the morning. So that really stresses me out. But if I ask my husband, please, tone it down a little bit in the morning, he would say, this is something that wakes me up. So, it's something that I still need to work on. Maybe I shouldn't get too affected by all the shouting of the Greeks in the morning. But I do like having a sense of control and calm, and all these deep breathing exercises in the morning. Maybe he can
mm.
put on his headphones if he wants to,
Absolutely.
just keep, because for him it doesn't stress him out. That's just normal for them. That's how he wakes up in the morning. But certainly I like the idea of actually I'm trying to teach my young child these micro habits, and the developing these micro habits from an early age. Deep
Mm,
breathing, for me, actually deep breathing and gratitude in the morning,
mm,
drinking your water first thing, to it actually, I think, starts your body. It almost like, okay, time to start, and then you go to the toilet, do your squats, brush your teeth, and
Yeah.
wash your face, and have that affirmation. I think it's really
Mm.
important and puts you on the right track for the day.
Definitely, definitely. And I always have a sixth habit too, which I do for myself, and that's I have some just 3 kilo weights next to the bathroom. So
Mm.
when I leave the bathroom, I'll pick those up and I'll do, well, I tell people to start on 5 and build up, and I can go up to 70 of those, same as squats, without a problem. And I'm 59. So
Wow.
I think, yes, so it's all about doing that repetition, isn't it? And helping yourself improve physically and mentally.
And yes, and what I like about your five micro habits is that, yeah, they are so small, but it actually has a ripple effect on what you do, and how you operate during the day. So it's having that balance, that center, taking care of your body, moving, staying hydrated.
Mm.
And yeah, it builds up and carries on for the rest of the day. So is this something that you teach your clients? And how do you work, by the way, Tracy? Do you do one-to-one, or do you do courses, or how do you teach people?
Yes, I teach one-on-one, and I do events, and I'm just about to launch my first online course at the end of this month. But teaching one-on-one or events, I'll literally stand on the stage and I'll demonstrate and model. And I'll say to everyone, look, I'm almost 60. If I can do 70 squats, what's your excuse? And someone will sing out knees, and I'll say, nah, not good enough, sorry. But yes, so I do it in different modes. And what I find, Emee, is that people who struggle with resilience are the ones that need this the most. And obviously, once again, the ripple effect you were referring to is, if you're not motivated, you're not resilient. If you start with a regime of micro habits in the morning, you'll become motivated, as you said, to improve yourself. And then as you do that, you're getting out of your comfort zone, and so you're building your adaptability and resilience.
That's wonderful.
Mm.
And I like that, how you connect motivation and resilience, because when you have the motivation, the resilience will follow, because even if you're facing challenges, if you have that motivation within you, you can power through. But for some people, tapping into this motivation can be tricky. How do
Mm-hmm.
you help people who sometimes loses that motivation along the way?
Mm. So with motivation, it's a drive. So it's a skill, a drive to be someone or achieve something. And what I do is, once again, to be motivated, you need to break up your goals. So I use a little program that I have, and I'll just, if I wouldn't mind, just talk to you about it. And it's changing your mindset. So I have a saying, and I say that life is like a box of chocolates, and each sweet delicacy can be likened to a goal,
Okay.
enticing you to keep moving forward. So in every box, there will always be 1 or 2 chocolates that you don't like. And what I do is I show you how to find the sweet spot in everything you think of and do. And most of that battle is achieving the right mindset. So
Hmm.
in motivation, it's all about mindset. So you can have either a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. And that's the biggest thing that I concentrate on if I'm looking at motivating people or teaching them how to help themselves become motivated. And motivation and resilience are very much linked to each other. So looking at the mindset that we have. So you can either choose to get off your backside and do something and be positive, like you're saying with your affirmation every night. It's interesting you mentioned about being grateful, gratitude. I actually do that every night driving home.
Hmm.
I go and visit my mother, who's 89 years old, and check on her. And I drive home and I smile, and I do this every day. I do it voluntarily, but because I really genuinely believe it, I am so thankful to be alive. I'm so very thankful to be who I am, and have the life I have, and to be alive. And so that gives me the ability to have a growth mindset. And with a growth mindset, you're open. You open your mind to helping yourself, and that's through seeking different opportunities and experiences. So for myself, I have 4 businesses, Emee. So at my age, I continue to learn, and I continue to do different things. I'm a part owner of 2 race horses. I make jewelry. I tattoo. So I do
Wow.
microblading.
You keep yourself busy. Tracy? Oh goodness, I think we just lost Tracy. Okay, we're going to try to reconnect, and yeah, we'll have part 2 for with this conversation with Tracy. I'll just have to go and find her.